I got this from something you sent me.
Yeah, yeah, fathers and families. Yeah, that's from the Fatherhood Initiative, Mobilizing the Community. Yeah.
Did you see something that said green there? Good evening. You have tuned in to Community Updates right here on WJZZ Cool TV. And tonight we have two phenomenal guests, Mr. Sheldon Hill and Miss Denisha Hill, and we're going to be talking about mental health. Mental health is such an issue right now in our country. In our country, mental health, there have been fewer dollars that have gone into the mental health disparities and challenges that people are having in various communities, and but mental health is still a challenge. It's a challenge for people that seem to be doing well and those we know might have a challenge. You can't look at everyone and know that they have a challenge. But mental health, and especially after the advent of COVID, you've got a lot more challenges between that and the uh, 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 monetary situation or the lack thereof that people are having, and challenges with that that is causing more anxiety and mental challenges. So we're going to be talking to you tonight about mental health. So please feel free to give us a call, tune in here. You can catch us on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube and Facebook. So we are streaming live on those channels, and our number that you can call in at is 313-355-6018. Again, that's 313-355-6018. And you can also feel free to send in comments on YouTube, and we can see them right here on the screen and can respond accordingly. So we want you to give us a call. Again, that number is 313-355-6018. I'm Michelle White. I'm your host for tonight. And again, we thank you for over the 10,000 plus viewers and listeners that are calling in. Share this with somebody. Share it on your YouTube page. Share it on your social media page. I'm going to put the job information, but I will say that right now classes are getting ready to start at WCCCD, Wayne County Community College District. Classes are getting ready to start all over. Community colleges. Register now. People call, say, when is registration? Now. Classes start at Wayne County Community College this coming Monday, the 22nd. But and for many schools, and in particularly Wayne County Community College District, if you are 61 and over, classes are free. Let me say that again. Every class is free. You say, well, is this class free? Every class is free to those who are seniors. So, but we'll talk more about that later. Let me tell you about Sheldon Hill. Mr. Hill, welcome, our
Thank
guest
you.
this evening.
Thank you.
And Mr. Hill is a motivational speaker. He is the CEO of a program called Citywide Mentoring, where they have programs for for fathers fighting to get their children, or how to help parent their children. That's so needed. But the parenting skills are needed for the men and the women.
Women both, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Women are welcome, mothers are welcome.
Okay.
But healthy fathers, healthy families. Our focus is on the men who have abandoned their families
Okay.
as a whole.
And that's a challenge too. All men don't want to abandon their children. You could be going through something at some point in life, and then when you want to get it, you've kind of got it back together, but maybe the kids aren't as receptive.
Or the mothers won't allow it.
Or the mothers won't allow it. There's a lot of that going
Yep.
on.
Sure.
So we want you to talk to us tonight about that, and we have Denisha Hill, your daughter, who works with you with Citywide Mentoring. You guys are going to tell us some of the wonderful things that you're doing and have upcoming, but tell us a little bit about Citywide Mentoring.
Citywide Mentoring was put together in her kitchen, the kitchen table, 19 years ago, as a family I realized that more adults needed as much mentoring as young people did. Our lifestyles and of addictions and active lifestyle addictions, criminal behavior, substance abuse, substance use, um, undiagnosed mental illness were going rampant throughout the community, just as they are now. Once I realized that I had these particular issues, I needed to see about help for myself. I've always been an instructor type, so I like passing on information. I needed to create a future for myself. Started citywide mentoring as a business. At matter of fact, at the Wayne County Community College District with Elder Mark Lane, one of your mentors, and he started mentoring me and helped me start the business because I had not planned a future. I had to come up with a future, and from ground up at Wayne County Community College District with Elder Mark Lane at the Entrepreneurship Institute. That's what got me started.
Okay.
That's what got me started.
And so what types of things is the program doing now?
Healthy
Tell us,
fun.
because this is community updates.
Right.
So what things are you all doing that can help in the community?
Well, we're visible and active in working with families who have loved ones who are suffering with diagnosed mental illnesses or undiagnosed mental illness. You can tell someone needs help just by their lifestyle. If they say they don't have a problem, but they're homeless, if they're constantly broke, if they can't maintain a job, something's going on. And it's okay to get help. Excuse me, citywide mentoring is designed so we can help individuals as peers, peers supporting peers. I'm a certified peer support specialist, certified recovery coach. And so that allows me to actively involve.
I don't know if our viewers can hear you. Speak up a little louder or speak towards the mic, please.
So as a certified peer support specialist, we're able to assist individuals, men and women, that have diagnosed mental illnesses, issues that
Speaking to the mic, I'm getting that.
are concerning to them and their families. When you have undiagnosed mental illness, you're going to end up getting involved with nuisance type crimes, just trying to feed an addiction, or just because you have no place to go, you need to, and you want to get out of the cold, get away from the elements, you're going to need to find something to do to have that. Sometimes people break laws just to go to jail so they can get off the streets, especially here in Michigan when it's really cold. And there's been I've been asked by the chief of jails for Wayne County to design a program that would assist men and women that have committed these nuisance crimes, so he could care for them, because the cost for housing them in the jail is astronomical. It's
Even somewhere, people have to sometimes pay for their own stay in jail.
Well, if they have an
That's
income.
crazy.
If you have a certain
If
amount of,
income.
yeah.
certain amount of income. But what happens is, for us adults, a lot of times we have children. That's where my daughter comes in, and my daughters come in, because they were left behind because of my lifestyle, the lifestyle of their moms and whatnot. So now that we come together, they can help other parents, other men and women who are trying to parent now, understand what you're doing wrong, why you need to stop, how important it is that you bring your life back together, so you can be there to parent your children, and even to be there to help parent your grandchildren. Like for me, my great-grandchildren, we have 4 lovely children that we have to manage and maintain because of the lifestyle of their mom, who was suffering from her own diagnosis.
You have 4 children, great-grandchildren,
Great-grandchildren.
because someone in your
My
family, your daughter, is
My
suffering
oldest daughter
from
is
mental.
suffering bipolar depression.
Okay.
Diagnosed at 14 years old. Years after I'd already been, screaming out for help. So now I have 4 grandchildren, ages 2 to 5, back to back, and they live with me. And it's what I've always said, it's a village type of situation. I've never let that go. It's important for them to have the support of all of us. My father and I have gone into middle school and high schools for prevention, to try to help the children understand some things in a way, excuse me, that I know helped me when I hit 6th grade and found out from the DARE program what was going on with my family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they came in my sixth grade class, that's when I realized that crack cocaine is what turned the ones that I knew loved me into basically monsters. So that's one of the most important aspects to citywide mentoring for myself is to reach out to the children, still young, but also my age and some older, to give their parents another chance to help them understand that taking your love away in the time of addiction or the time of mental illness episodes is not the time to take your love away. You know, that's when you're supposed to increase the show, the action portion of your love. So
But it's
that's
hard.
Oh, of course it's hard. We
Mhm.
suffer. We suffer.
So you're saying we
majorly.
need to show
But
love to people even when they aren't loving
You have to.
themselves.
You have to. But
But
that's
at the same
where
time, you can't make them get help. They have
can't.
to get to a point where they know they need help.
But that's where learning the education into substance and mental illness comes in. Me at 11 years old, learning what this substance was doing to my family, which my entire family was ravaged by crack cocaine addiction. So for me to learn that helped me to understand better, which in turn gave me the ability to now continue my love without the huge question mark as to what the heck was going on as a child.
So you
can't
never
do anything.
dabbled with drugs.
I've never used any hard drugs. Marijuana was as extreme as I've ever gone.
Okay.
But that was
Now some
another
people
point.
think marijuana is a hard
They say it's a
drug.
gateway drug, right? It leads to everything.
It can be a
But
gateway drug.
that's where balance in life comes in. You know what I'm saying? I looked at my family exhibit behaviors that I knew I did not want to replicate. Not just my father, and I can say for my family, the youth or my generation of their children, we all have had the same feelings, but I'm really the only one that has come to the point of being able to forgive, being able to care enough to say, okay, I can forgive. I may not forget it, but I can forgive you, and I can continue on this road of recovery and this road of help with you. Because learning my father's diagnoses, it shocked me, but it didn't shock me, because by the time he learned his diagnoses, I had been through so many different institutions as far as schooling, to where I was able and ready to receive. But my grandmother, who was an extremely serious, she's heavy on prayer. That is the main thing that has helped me to be able to forgive and
heavy on
love.
prayer too.
There you go. It's
'Cause
the
it
only way.
works.
It's the only way. It's the only
I
way.
don't
So yeah,
even know
people
how
say it's
people
hard.
make it in life without prayer, without God.
And
I
working with
couldn't do it.
Lyft, when we work with the Lyft's Women's Center,
Mm-hmm.
out of 5 or 6 families I talked to, only one son said he would not give his mother a chance. He didn't care what anybody said. Out of it was 6 out of so 5 families, they wanted, after our conversation, after listening to my experience and realizing that they're not alone, and listening to the ways that I was able to make it through those moments and still love my family. You okay?
I was melting. Oh, man, I melted my credit card. Go ahead.
Electronics. But so out of those 6 families, only one refused to. But like I told him,
that was at the time.
right. That's what I
He
said. I
could've come
told
around.
him I hope that you all will some way somehow be able to find a way to make it happen. So I look at it as we can all learn from each other. To me, if you can't listen to someone else and see where it fits into your life to put it into place because it makes sense, then that means you don't want to receive a message. You don't want to receive a certain portion of growth.
Well, you don't know much about the spiritual aspects of life anyway if you don't allow forgiveness, because you're going to fall short too.
Yeah.
One day you're going to need forgiveness. And
Yeah.
what got me to where I was able to,
I need you to really speak in the mic. I have about 4 texts that have come through that say they can't hear you.
I was saved. There was a book called The Man God Uses. And that prayer, that opened me up and for spiritual growth, and that spiritual growth gave me the way to accept my diagnosis and be able to go ahead and forgive myself. because that's the first forgiveness. I
Now,
had
what
to
was
do.
your diagnosis?
Diagnosed bipolar 1 disorder, and antisocial personality disorder, and major depression.
Now, I didn't know, and I've known you for some years and saw you in business, and I did not know that you were bipolar until you told me, because you were taking your medication
Right.
and you couldn't tell. Some bipolar, and I can remember, some people think you don't need to take medications for some things, but hey, some stuff you need to take medication.
Yeah.
I must. If without medication compliance, I'm not going to be substance free. It's going to be
Or free from other things as
you know,
well.
just lifestyle addictions. It's so many parts of bipolar 1 disorder.
But it doesn't have to be all substance abuse. It's just the kind of mental you can end up going off on people, don't
Sure,
realize
sure.
what you're saying, or
You know, I mean, that's not bragging, but I've never been booked sober, and I've been taken to jail.
You've never
as an
been
adult.
what?
I've never been arrested sober.
Okay.
Not manic. When I'm manic, I usually go to jail. I've been taken to jail 109 times
Lord Jesus.
as diagnosed from a 12-year-old up until my
You
last
said how
breath.
many times?
109.
From 12?
30 started at 12 years old. 32 times as a juvenile. 77
Thank God for
times.
deliverance, salvation, forgiveness.
It's been 23 years now.
Because I don't think that's not normal. A lot of people,
No.
after the third or fourth time, you're
And I've
like
never been
in
to prison.
trouble. And
I've
never
never
been
been
to
to
prison.
That's like I say, Granny's blessed. Granny got a main line straight to the top. I
We
tell
all
you.
have a main line. It's just if we use it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Everybody has a
Hey.
main line.
Hey, well,
Because a lot of people
some
think
folks
that
is open a little wider than others.
that's because they don't know that they got the
There you
same
go.
name.
That's why I say Granny got it open.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying no one else is privy to it. I'm just saying if you don't delve into it, it's not quite open as wide. You may still be able to make it down that way, but it's gonna be a much tighter fit. Much
That's
tighter
true.
fit. She keeps
We
us
have-
covered with prayer. It's a
We have
definite.
We have an
Oh,
event
I
coming
know. Yes.
in Melvindale on the 17th of September. There's a recovery music festival focused on SUD, substance use disorder, and mental illness.
Recovery, what?
Recovery music festival.
Music festival.
It's a music festival. We're going to have 2 karaoke machines. We're going to have individuals speaking on their personal experiences with mental illness, on their family members, and we're going to
And
have
what
music.
day is this?
Saturday, September 17th.
At
It's
what
in
time?
Melvindale. It's in Melvindale. It's from 8. No.
You
it's
have
from
the
12
location?
noon. 12 noon to 8 p.m. And I didn't get my flyer. I didn't even bring the flyer with me.
Okay, Miss
we'll do-
Assistant, where's the flyer?
I'm not the assistant.
Where's your phone?
We got a lot of different things going.
Where's
You
your
got that
phone?
one. I let him
Phone's
handle
right
that.
here. Here you go.
Okay, but you
I
can
will
look it up
handle that.
while you
Yeah,
doing
while you
something
guys
else.
talk, yeah.
But, so tell me, first of all, I have a couple of social workers that are listening. Hopefully they're listening this evening. I asked them to call in if they have some questions. I'd like to know, what are we doing about some of the issues around mental health in various communities? And because again, community updates is not just here. We have listeners from all around the country. So, and I know that you work with different programs, Mr. Hill, national, working with the state and other things. What are we doing about mental health? But again, if we'd love to have you call in at 313-355-6018. Again, that's 313-355-6018. Feel free to give us a call. Tell us about some experiences with mental health. To this evening, we've got Denisha Hill and Sheldon Hill, who are, he
Activist.
is an activist, but also has had some challenges in the area of which he has some challenges in the area for which he now advocates in helping other people accept their condition
That's
and
one
know
thing,
what
yeah.
to do, learn what things to do
About it.
with having mental challenges.
Yeah, one of the things, the stigma is a big issue for a lot of people. I remember was a time where I didn't care if you thought I was maybe a crack addict or a crackhead, but didn't want you to think or know that I took medications.
Mm.
So I wouldn't take medications because that people laughed at people, called them crazy, called them retarded, and things like that. So not to be called those names, you chose to be seen as an active addict, an active addiction. Well, bipolar 1 disorder mimics the crack cocaine behaviors. The behaviors are quite similar. So a lot of times people.
What are some of the behaviors?
Oh man, promiscuity, just promiscuous all over the streets. Restlessness, you constantly stay awake for days and weeks at a time. When you're manic from bipolar. Manipulation, much manipulation.
The lack of a healthy fear. You don't have no fear of danger.
Yeah, there's
You
no,
just do
no
whatever.
fear of anything.
Yeah.
There's no fear of anything. So the goal is to increase the awareness. Well, what's happening now within the community, they're starting to privatize. So Detroit Wayne Integrated Health System, they're turning that building into a crisis center. All their staff are working from home. So that's going to be a crisis center in the middle of the city of Detroit. Because the Cass corridor has been shut down now. And they had tried to move them to Highland Park. And so now they're going to be moving them back to the central area, near the old General Motors building, right there on
So
Milwaukee
what do they
Street.
do with all the people that have been in some of our shelters, like in the Cass corridor, but throughout, the things that are happening in one state generally happen in all the states at some point. It might start somewhere first in one state and they see how it works and then they try it in another. But what's happening with the people who have been, I see they're taking a lot of people off the streets.
Yeah, a lot of people going to jail. They're getting locked up. Incarceration is the new mental institution.
They're putting them in jail.
And they're locking them up for them.
But aren't they also letting out a lot of people out of jail?
It's a rotation. The recidivism rate is just massive. People are going back and forth. You have private corporations who have privatized, built prisons on their own. Magic Johnson owns 3 prisons. He's a partner with 3 prisons.
Magic Johnson owns 3 prisons.
Michael Jordan. I'm sorry, not Mike Johnson. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan owns 3 prisons.
3 prisons. He's a partner with 3. Bob Barker. From Let's
thought
Make
he
a Deal.
died.
He did die, but his corporation owned 3 prisons.
Okay.
And the shoes and the T-shirts that have Barker on them, that's Bob Barker. He sells clothes, shoes, commissary. The commissary at Wayne County for mental health and for incarceration is $30 million a year. Just in potato chips, popcorn, it's big business. Mental health and substance abuse is big business. And so there's not enough in prevention. The budget for prevention is 1/10 of the budget for treatment. So if it's $1 billion, it's only $100 million on prevention. And we've got all these kids that if we did something different now, possibly would not have to go to jail, not have to get treatment. But
So that's where your program comes in,
prevention.
Citywide mentoring
And healthy fathers, healthy families.
and healthy fathers, healthy families. So if people want to, we're going to talk more about it, but if people want to get in touch with you, what is the number they should call?
My number is 248-805-9464. 248-805-9464. Sheldon Hill, President and CEO.
Okay.
But yes, and like I said, it's 24/7. We make plans with families over the phone. The families themselves determine how they would like to see the intervention done, and then we set and do an intervention. We talk with the individual. First question I have to ask them is, what is it you would like to do if you could do it for free? And that's considered the asset approach, and they tell you what that's like and have them do something that's going to allow them to take ownership of something. A lot of times people have no real responsibility of something of their own. They're usually taking care of someone else's, living in someone else's home, following someone else's orders. So you give them something that they can take charge, like myself, citywide mentoring, citywide housing, citywide restorations.
So what specifically, though, are you doing?
Conversation, talk therapy.
You're doing talk therapy
talk
with
therapy.
fathers.
Fathers, helping them plan activities and events for their children,
Okay.
activities and events for themselves. This Melvindale event
Providing
is
resources.
provide resources. This
What
Melvin,
types of resources, so that our listeners and viewers can know what type of resources? So let's say I'm a father, I need your program. What is your program gonna provide for me? And you gave me the number of 248-805-9464 is how we can reach you. 805-9464, area code 248. But what can you do for me? If I call and say, I'm a father, I want to get in touch with my children, or I've gotten in touch with my children, but I'm still struggling, how can you help me?
So, first thing I do is ask, what is your issues? Are you able to access your children? Do you have any child support? The first thing is child support, arrearages, things of that nature. So most men will run from that responsibility, not knowing if they give them a $5 money order and they cash it, they cannot put a warrant out for their arrest. So you might be told that you might have to pay $200-300 a month. If you send them $5 and they cash that money, or they cannot put a warrant out for your arrest. They can continue to add the money up, but they can't put a warrant out for your arrest, and that's the biggest issue most men have. They won't even go get a job because they're concerned about wage garnishments and things like that. They can only take half.
And you're saying that, but I know someone that happened to. The father wouldn't even get a job anywhere on
No.
paper
No.
because he did not want to pay for his 3 children,
And that's
2 boys
sad.
and 1 girl. And how can that be? That's very sad, because then you're teaching that to your sons, and they can possibly
And that's what
duplicate
this is.
that type
It's
of behavior.
That's what it is. That's what happens. My dad would bring me his vehicle and go to jail, report to the Detroit House of Correction, because he didn't want to give, what his words would be, his money to give to another man. So he's thinking if he gives somebody for child support, she's going to give it to a man, not take care of his children.
But yet he laid down with her,
to
and they
make
reared
these
those
4
children.
Right. And
But he didn't want to take care of his
he
own
would
children.
drop his van off to his son and go and get a ride to the jail so he can spend 30 days or 60 days in jail instead of paying child support.
And the sad thing about that is there's still men that do that type of thing today.
Well, you don't have very many people that are like my father and some of the men that he worked with, offering the information that's been missed. A lot of things are just what they've seen. There's not very many individuals pulling them aside to give them information like, adding in a couple of dollars on a money order, or, letting them know, like in my internship for my social work degree, I sat down with a client and listened to his reasons as to why he didn't have his children, and they end up being injured in the care of their mother when he knew she was dangerous. And one of his main reasons was he didn't know how to get custody of his children, because also his child support. So basically he was afraid to go ask for custody of his children, even though they were being harmed, because he was afraid of what the issues will be with child support. So sometimes
So you
they
do
don't.
some child support education.
There's
Sure.
education, number one, on top of all of this. There's information that needs to be
Even
shared.
walking into the court, I go to court with people all the time.
Right.
I go to court with people all the time. There's several judges that know: mental health court judge Timothy Kinney, Judge Deborah Thomas, Judge Frank Szymanski down in juvenile court. I go to court and talk to the judges. If they see me, I walk in, I go back. I need to meet with the judge in his chambers. I can go in and the judge will hold on to the court session and go back in the room with me. Then I can introduce him to the individual that's coming. If he's part of what we're doing, the judges show favor because there's a consistency in what I've been doing for the last 20 years.
So that's one aspect, getting the child support. But then also, depending on
Employability.
the employability,
Employment, housing,
Employability is a big piece
how do
because
you help them with that?
you have to go to sleep to get up to go to work to do a good job. You can't stay up all night.
Everybody's not on drugs, and
I'm not
everybody's
saying
not
I said nothing about
mental,
drugs.
but you're talking about the
employability.
people that are staying up all night and not working. Some people are just
Lifestyle.
flat out
It's
lazy,
lifestyle.
Well,
especially
laziness,
many men just
because
lazy.
mama and their girls
Took care of them,
took
took
care
care
to
of 'em.
where they're worthless to themselves. They believe they are, but they're not.
Not
But
saying
you-
that women can't be lazy too.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's like on the other side of this form we have here. It's called Mobilizing the Community, and that comes from the National Fatherhood Initiative. So the thing is to empower you. That's why I said I need to know through the asset approach, what is it you would do if you did it for free? Then we build you a business based upon that. It's that's inner city executives. That's another part of the fatherhood
Another
initiative.
organization
We
that you
help
work
people,
with
right,
to help them
that I
start their own
started,
business.
That I started.
Okay.
After Elder Mark helped me, I kept doing it
Okay.
because most of us from the street were already businessmen, just in the wrong business. You know, just like I did a conference for Detroit Wayne, and they said Sheldon Hill selling hope, not dope. You know, I'm the hope man, not the dope man now. You
And
know?
that's good because a lot of times people come out of prison, they come out of drug situations, and they don't know what to do.
They've been hustlers.
And they've been hustlers. So you take that same skill,
hustle,
but
yes.
just learn how to use it where you're
Just
making
don't
money
sell
and you're not
dope.
selling
Just
dope.
Don't sell
Yeah.
dope. You
But a
it's
lot of
in
people
you.
don't even see that that is even a real option.
Just to say it.
And so
Just
for a
to
lot of
say it.
people that hear my dad and some of the other very powerful speakers that we deal with speak, if you go and you listen to this man, you're looking at this man, you can see an uncle or grandfather or a dude from down the street,
Great grandfather.
somebody that you can relate to, and you hear history, and you can probably go in the same neighborhood and find a few people that will vouch for some of the stuff that he's saying, and then it makes you understand that it might be possible.
It's possible.
You don't have
It is.
to, feel like you have to go, you got to get a couple of dollars every single day hustling. You can actually be patient. Patience. There's a lot of things that
So
take
how
this
old
from
do
a,
people have to be?
there's not a real age
I'm
limit
dealing with an
because we
8-year-old
have,
now. I'm dealing with an 8-year-old now. His father was murdered in Atlanta, and the grandmother called me because he was becoming a little agitated. He was becoming a little agitated. So we're doing an 8-year-old. I deal with 65 and 70-year-old men. We had an uncle, 77, who passed on from active addiction, wouldn't listen. But trying to talk, I've talked with him, he just wouldn't listen. So not everybody wants it. I've had guys tell me, I'm not trying to do all that. I'm not going to do all that. I've had women tell me, I'm not trying to do all that.
What is all that? What do you have?
Put the work
the
in. You
effort.
have to be
Put in
put in
effort.
that effort. Put in that effort. You have to be
to
consistent.
get a job, to learn how to
To
just
maintain.
talk with your
to
child.
change the way that they think. A lot of times for a lot of people, just to change the way that you view life on a daily basis is a major effort. And they don't want to put that effort forward. But that's why when we do what we do and been doing it for so long, it's important to continue it because they may not have been ready 15 years ago. They may not have been ready 5 years ago.
So
Now
your
they've come
program,
across
they can
enough.
start 1 year and stay 20 years if
Because
they need
you're
to.
connected. There's so
Services.
many different portions, so many different sections to what we do, so many different things that we can do, and the fact that we are offering support in so many ways. Some people just need our support. Just need, like my dad said, you go to sit in the court with someone, or you go and you sit at an appointment with someone that don't have anyone to lean on. We just did a protest for against Raphael Washington. The people that are going through issues out here need somebody to stand up and support them, to help to help them think a little different on a daily basis, and that's one of at least my main. That's our
I
plan.
know some social workers that deal with the children, and so they are encountering all types of really sad situations
That's my goal.
that the children have to succumb to because of the parents.
Yeah.
Maybe not teaching them, or maybe they become violent, or maybe their
Allow
parents were
things to
violent
come
to
around, yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And when I see parents cussing their children out, you think that child's not gonna grow up and be cussing everyone else out?
Sure. Well, that's the bullying. We call it the bully style of parenting. So you bully me, then I go to school and I bully somebody else. I can't beat you up, so I'm gonna beat up somebody else.
But not
Hurt
enough
people,
people
hurt people.
focus on where it came from. Like I looked at, though I remember clearly, but I just looked at Michelle Blair's story, and I was talking to my daughter on the clear pain that woman had endured through her life, and then what it turned her into, and then how she lashed out, and it cost her children their lives. If someone would have taken the time years ago to talk to this woman, didn't have to necessarily be an official certified counselor. She needed someone to talk to that could have helped her pinpoint some things and thought of some different ways to carry the load that she was carrying. That's one of the reasons that
Tell
my
our viewers
goal.
who
Michelle Blair is the young lady from Detroit that murdered her two children basically and put them in the deep freezer. You know, and she said her main thing was she felt like she was protecting her youngest son. That's something in her head that stuck with her. She said she was molested. She spoke to her mother. Her mother said, well, what the hell you want me to do about it? They're gone. She felt like, you go around here beating everybody else up. Why won't you beat somebody up for me? I had the similar experience with my mother, but my takeaway from it and Michelle's takeaway from it were totally different. At 8 years old, I told my mother, and she said, what you want me to do about it now? Find them and put them in jail? Yes. They're no longer around, so. And it was like, at 8 years old, I was supposed to be able to just go on and say, okay. But I knew I had to. Because of all the hell I'd already gone through, that was just another smack in the face that I just had to be able to absorb. But it didn't make me say, so from that point on, anybody can get it. You know, anybody, I'm going to take anybody. No. I had to figure out how to not be like that careless parent. I had to teach my children a different way. I had to let my children know how to avoid. I had to pay attention to the fact that I cried to my mother to not go to these people, but she sent me anyway. I have my reasons and theories, but that's a whole nother thing. But that taught me that when my children go somewhere, or if I'm sending them somewhere and they're crying, you're not going. You're not going. Unless you have some stupid reason like granddaddy wouldn't let me eat popcorn last night. I don't want to go back over there. That's nothing. But if this child is screaming and crying and they don't want to go, and especially if they won't tell you why they don't want to, don't send them. My mother sent me anyway.
Something is going on.
Something's going on.
Even if it's just verbal.
There you
And
go.
see, and know this to be a fact, we are professionals in what we do. We take a lot of time to learn and take seminars and trainings and whatnot. But you were talking about real life experience.
Heartfelt, yeah.
We're talking about we've lived this.
Yeah.
I was the missing dad, missing in action,
Still in the home.
still right there in the house. You know what I'm saying? I was emotionally detached. You know what I'm saying? I've always been there with him for him, but totally detached emotionally. That's actually the second book that I'm writing. I was a missing dad, missing no more. There's an effort, a conscious effort.
Bring some of your books material.
No,
Tell
we
us
gotta
about your
finish
books.
the books. I mean, actually,
You said your second book. Where's your
was
first
the
book?
first book.
You
Everything
got
has
what,
been
3 of them right now at this point?
But
they
you haven't
just-
published
We're
it
not
yet.
published
Not yet.
anything, you know.
So what would
It's
you say are
hurtful.
some of the benefits that children receive from their fathers? A lot of times, and I've heard people say, well, you're a single woman, you know, it's 2022, plenty of single women raising their children by themselves. You could do it.
She can
But
tell
that's
you.
not
Let
how
her
God
tell you.
involved
The
it,
benefits.
designed it to
No.
be. There are things that children learn from both their fathers
Yes.
and their mothers. And I'd love to have some of our mental health people who may be listening this evening, or even those of you who might have questions or challenges that you're going through, or maybe you'd like to learn how to get involved or get one of your loved ones involved with citywide mentoring. Please give us a call here at 313-355-6018. Again, that's 313-355-6018. You're listening to us here right on WJZZ Cool TV. Community Updates is our show for this evening. And this is Community Updates. How do we better? This whole premise for this show is so that we can help one another with community information and services that are available to those in our communities. Communities here and everywhere. Everywhere has communities. But how do we help one another? And one of the things that Citywide Mentoring is doing is helping fathers and mothers and children. But what are some of the benefits to fathers that fathers play in when they are actively participating in their children's lives?
I'll say 2 things. The early memories, number 1, because my father, before the monster, before the drugs, before the mental illness that I came to understand, I remember being 4 years old, standing on his feet. We're dancing to Anita Baker, My Angel. That is 4 years old till I moved. Okay, so some years later, that memory carried me through those darkest times. With the manic states and the drug use, that memory, that one single solitary memory. But I had many more. My dad ran chains of churches chickens. Me and my brother used to go sneak down in the refrigerator and eat them doggone pecan pies. So, and he'd be upstairs asleep, and I remember saying, "He's snoring, he's sleeping." Just to know that he went and worked every day and brought home those pies, if nothing else. Or
so seeing your father go and work every day,
Positivity.
maintaining
Yeah.
for the family,
yes,
that shows strength,
yes.
to you.
Who'd have thought those memories
Yeah.
would carry me through some of the ugliest times of our life together?
Then you chose to look at the good things.
Yes.
I can look at my own life. I can think of bad things that happened, but I chose to focus on
Yes.
the good things.
And that's where when people say find the silver lining, that's the silver lining. You know what this person could be. They're not totally cut out in the dark. But then at, I'd say about 9 years old, he fussed at me, got on my tail because my stepsister was messing with me. And I caught myself getting back at her, and I bent over, the same stupid stuff she did. I bent over in her face, and she hit me, and he fussed at me. "Don't you ever bend over like that again. You stoop down. You bend down at me. That young ladies don't do that." And I never bent over like that.
So he was teaching you.
It's like, there are lessons that fathers teach and lessons that mothers teach. They oftentimes meet in the middle, but a lot of times the difference in the way it's presented is some of the most important memories that we'll hold on to. I've raised both of my children, if you want to say single, as far as no father for them to, by their choices. I did that. But my father, my grandmother, we did that. We took care of those children.
You all came together as a family.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we had
village,
my
like I
oldest
said earlier.
granddaughter. My oldest granddaughter, some of her friends were teasing her, saying, "Well, Daisy, you don't have a dad." She said, "I don't need a dad. I got a granddaddy dad."
There you go.
So she had a granddaddy dad. I've always been there because even with them, I kept these kids. They were there for me. That's something I promised myself I would do. There's something that, as a man, I should do. This is what we want other men to realize, no matter what's going on.
What about men asking women for money?
Men's supposed to work. You don't work, you don't eat.
But what? I
You know
think,
what I'm
like,
saying?
if you're going to go into a relationship.
Let this man answer that
Let
for
me
1
share this
second.
thing. Go ahead.
I just want to
Go
hear it
ahead.
from a male
Go
perspective.
ahead.
So one day I go by a family member's house. They trying to get a $10 bag of weed, right? There's 6 of them. They was $4 short on the $10 bag of weed. 6 men. So it's like
Wait, say that again. 6 men.
6 men
They were $4 short
on the $10
on the
bag.
Lord
$10
have
bag
mercy,
of weed.
on a $10 bag of weed.
so
So
I'm
then
like-
nobody, out of 6 men,
You say nobody
nobody has
has
some
5
money. Ain't nobody got 5 on it.
They got 5 on it. Right.
They ain't even
So
got
they
1 on
so
it.
check what he said. So when I said no, I said
They
I'm
didn't
not,
need to be
They
smoking.
need
at
to be
all.
smoking, right.
They need to
what
go get
I
a
said
job.
What I said was, y'all, what y'all gonna do with the damn bag anyway? No, I'm not giving you my $4. That one young man said, "That's okay. My girl will be here in a minute. She'll give me the $4." I said, "You still gonna be $1 short. You don't have a blunt either."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she's still $5 now, $4 short. But you know what I'm saying? It's sad. It's sad.
But now the really sad thing, it's not just people that are doing drugs
No.
that don't have any money.
You got men with money that won't pay for their children.
You have men with money that won't make money for themselves, let
Yeah.
alone children.
Well, see, your child should be a priority.
But if
she'll
you're
tell
not a
you.
priority to yourself,
Well,
how
see,
can you
that's-
expect me to make my children a priority
That's why
when
I
I'm
said-
not even taking care of me?
That's why I said it's the asset approach. I have to ask you, when I start working with you, what is it you would do if you could do it for free? What do you like to do that you would do for a living if you didn't get paid? That's what we have to build on. You have to identify a way to bring a person's some worth. So mine was motivational speaking, training, encouragement, things like that. So I'll talk for nothing. I talk a lot of times for nothing. You've heard me talk for you helped me position myself to talk for the last 20-some years now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'll do.
Well,
and I'll
thank
be
you. I'm
for
glad that
you
that
know,
you-
for you. it made a difference. It always has. You know what I'm saying?
Glad I could
We
help
worked
make a
on-
difference.
You know, and that, but we always took it back and helped other people with it. You never just done
It's
things
all
for
about
you.
serving other people.
You never
We-
just done for you. You know what I'm saying? So it's worth it because it helps me build my own self worth.
So citywide mentoring program and fathers, healthy fathers, healthy families, will help fathers.
Find an identity. Let's say it like this: help find a healthy identity.
Okay.
You need
But
a
then
healthy
you help
identity.
them with their healthy identity. You help them with finding employment or starting their own business.
Starting their own
You help
businesses.
them with housing,
Child support,
resources.
in all areas.
Okay.
Even signing up to get your Medicaid card and your bridge card, stuff like that. A lot of times you get the bridge card, you got folks with bridge cards that are homeless and don't have a refrigerator, a place to put food.
And Crossroads will help you, or at least they used
That's
to
one of the resources.
help you to get your driver's license, your ID for free. A lot of people are not
Yeah,
aware
pay.
that Crossroads is there.
That's one of the resources.
How much
we use.
advertisement is what
Crossroads.
this Wayne County needs specifically? More like you know.
That's
they
why
used to
we
say
got
you want-
programs like community updates.
There
Well,
you go.
and
There you go.
even in
So we
itself,
can
you
put
got
Crossroads
people
of
know what's
Michigan.
going on.
There's
you
a
have being that know the system, that they go from treatment center to treatment center because the way the food tastes. It tastes better over here than it does over here. They'll go to Elmer's home to the share house and they'll tell you, I ain't leaving here. I'm leaving here, man. The food ain't like over there. And they're working the system, hustling, buying gators. I mean, I seen a guy who was in the treatment center have 3 pair of gators. From $800 to $900 a pair of shoes. He got 3 pairs of shoes for almost $3 grand.
But then there goes that's one of the challenges, and I'm not getting into politics, but that's one of the big things that one of our political parties in particular is time out for all of that.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people working the system. I can remember my mother was a social worker at the latter end of her life, and I would go maybe to her social work office, and I'm working every day, and I'm seeing people with gaiters and fur coats
Sure.
in the welfare office.
They got folks using
I said,
that.
how do they make that? Where they get the money to buy? I don't even have
They
that.
using the bridge card on cruise ships. The state of Michigan. They said 2/3 of the monies pulled off the bridge card to cash was pulled off on cruise ships and casinos.
Well, if you know, that's one big issue or with the Republican
Abuse.
Party.
The system abuse.
Too many people have abused the system, and now I'm not saying I'm Republican or Democrat. I'm not really either one. I like things on both sides.
Sure.
Now I'm tired of that one too. And I had a time in my life where I was on food stamps or
Assistance
whatever
and
the
whatnot.
assistance.
Yeah.
But I used it as a step up, not a step to stay there. Now, was it hard to get rid of that $200 and almost $300 for just me on that food card? Mm-hmm. But I got rid of it.
But you
I
progress.
gave it back and I progressed.
You progress,
Exactly.
and you can buy your own food.
Yeah, but I still, you know, I'm not gonna say that it didn't cross my mind. I could
Yeah,
keep this
well,
card and
you
still
would too.
and use money for something else.
You too.
But I
because-
knew that that's not where I want to stay.
And that's the thing, you have to want. Because
Yeah,
we can
sure.
provide all the resources, support, talk, paperwork. We do all that.
Let
But
it
if you
start
don't
raining
want to do it,
and people
you're not going to
won't
do
go.
it.
Michigan weather's
Yeah.
inclement and changes all the time.
Won't
You
go,
can have
it's
a person
raining.
with an
It's too
appointment
cold.
and go
It's,
to the social worker.
I was
they
looking
go
around
see-
for my umbrella because it's raining today.
it's right there.
and they get you have an appointment set and then they don't show up. Well, it start raining.
We've done
I
you
had
know,
a cut-
survey groups and stuff, and people wouldn't do it. It was raining. They wouldn't come. You try to get commitments and folks to come to certain areas. They wouldn't come because it
I
was
had
raining.
a cousin. I had
They
a
would get on the
job.
bus.
Had a job for him. He had the job. I drove past him to get to work. He didn't ask me to pick him up. Quarter at the time, 15 after the time he's supposed to be there, he calls me and said, "Cuz, can you come back to get me?" I said, "Come back where to get you for what? You're supposed to be here for the job." Well, I was gonna come, but it started raining, so I figured once you got to work, I'll call you. You come back and pick me up, and then I gotta still give you the job too. Never mind.
Well, what about all the people who are saying they can't find a job? And literally everywhere
Girl,
you
please.
go, there's signs for hiring.
Most
I went on to a job site, like maybe 2, and now today, when I tell you my email is flooded with job opportunities,
yeah.
flooded. I'm getting
told-
too many.
I
I'm
just
gonna
told
have
my
to
daughter-
cut them off, do the unsubscribe.
Job searching now is like it was in 1999. You walk out of one and walk into another, snatch up two of them, get whatever job you want.
Yes.
That's how it is again now.
Yes.
You know, but if
But you got to get people encouraged and motivated to want to go and work.
Well,
But
they-
that's why you can't be upset when certain rules are laid down. When certain rules are laid down, I don't get upset.
Or when
because,
people get a job
folks
and then
have
they
messed it up.
complain about the job.
well, you can't change that. People are people.
Yeah.
And it takes all types
Well,
of
a lot of
That
people-
goes back to them changing how they think.
Well, see,
If
Exactly.
a lot of
if you're
people
gonna
don't.
have a job and just bellyache all day long, then you need to find something else.
But you got
But you
Sometimes
don't want to
never
work. You
change
just
it.
want to get paid.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to get paid. Not everybody wants to work.
Yeah.
That's why you need to find something that you
Everybody.
like
That
doing.
you
You
like doing.
literally took the
You
words
know,
right out my mouth.
Everybody
Exactly.
wants to get paid. If they everyone needs to get paid to maintain a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But not everybody wants to work. That's why you got the guys that will have women and have children and they'll lay there and play the game all day and sit there for hours. I got another daughter and that's what her husband does on a regular basis.
Plays video games?
He
The
was
gamer.
doing that. He got Pokemon.
That's what he says. I'm a gamer.
He got Pokemon.
Is that making
cards.
money?
No, it's not making money. He could. There's a
Some
way to do
people it
that.
is.
Well, but he wasn't one of them.
He is not
He
one of
has Pokemon cards. Got 37 Pokemon collection. Who the hell collects Pokemon?
If you collect the ones that you don't make money, if it make money,
if you
collect
ain't
those.
selling them,
Now
if you
my
Make it ready to sell
grandson, who's 11, plays with the game
Right.
cards. But come on, now he's 11.
Hey,
This guy.
I'm just saying, if
And
it make
she
money, collect
working
it and
every
then
day.
sell it.
My daughter's
But-
working every day and he's sitting there on the couch.
Well,
Suffering.
speaking of which, there are plenty of job opportunities available, and we're going to tell you about some of them right now before we have to go this evening. And we so thank Sheldon Hill and Denisha Hill with Citywide Mentoring and Healthy Fathers, Healthy Families for coming on this evening. You can reach either one of them at 248 805 9464. Again, that's area code 248-805-9464. They are here to assist you or one of your family members. Share that information. Community updates is for you. If it's not
And it's
for you,
free.
the person listening, it's for you to share it with someone else who needs it. We are here on this planet to help one another. So if you're listening tonight, he said it's free. So you can't say I don't have any money. His programs are funded by the state, and he's doing wonderful. Received awards from the state,
From the government.
from the governor,
Federal government.
and so wonderful program. But we're here to tell you about it, and then share it with someone else so that they can get the help that they need.
And pick up the phone. Give us a call. It doesn't cost anything to make that phone call. Nothing.
You need someone to talk to, because not everybody wants to go to a counselor or
experience.
someone they know, or they may see something, or you might see something or hear something here that sounds relatable, and you want to delve into it a little more. Not a problem.
Well, speaking of which, I can remember when we had one of our mayors, when Mayor Young left office and we had Mayor Archer in. And he was sharing with people, I can't continue to do things the way that I used to do them. You can't keep all these city contracts the way they used to be done. You need to go over here for $200, get your license, and then subcontract with some of the larger companies, these buildings. For many people that are on drugs are bricklayers. I used to tell them,
The
you
most
can have,
skilled,
you guys
yes.
come together and form a company,
Yes.
but they have good skills,
Yes.
but no
Selfish behavior.
license. So that same course that was $200 before is now $600. However, you can get into the program, you can put a down payment on it of $200. But Michigan Residential Builders has the program going on. You can reach them, go to 313, and this is with the City of Detroit, the Detroit Training Center, 313-221-5876. Again, 313-221-5876. You can get your builder's license. They are hiring as well as helping you to get that license. The class is more now. But go get your license.
But you'll
Yes,
make
you can
more.
have this.
You'll
You
make
said,
Have
can you
you
have?
talked about Detroit Works that are they're doing skills trade and They're helping people get the GED and diploma. And they're actually paying people to do the programming and things like that.
We've
You
been
talked about that?
sharing, not Detroit Works,
Yeah.
but Wayne County Community College District.
Okay.
And the registration classes started Wayne County Community College District August the 22nd, which happens to be my birthday.
Okay.
But that's next Monday. Hey, my
All right.
birthday.
I'm August 14th.
You're August 14th? Hello, Leo. No, I'm not a big
I know.
follower of the
That's
thing, but
okay.
anyway.
I know. It's all right.
So classes start August the 22nd, and there are many different programs. They have a CDL program, absolutely free, to get your CDL license, your truck driver's license. Many different programs that I've been sharing on the show now for months. Classes are starting not just at Wayne County Community College District, but all over the land. And again, if you are 61 and above, classes are free for you. Go and sign up at a course or a campus near you in whatever state you live in, wherever you go. Classes are starting all over the land. Some schools have started this week, some colleges.
My daughter goes back tomorrow.
So there's, oh really?
Yep.
So that is going on. Also, there's a drone. We had a drone planning. Some people that do drone training, and we are